in the first quarter. How do you believe your team was different in the second half?
I thought our decision making was tough. We keep having the conversations about taking singles and taking what's available to us. I thought we got away from that. I feel like we're pressing to do too much right now. Everybody's trying to get us going in the right direction and trying to do the right thing. But, I feel like we're pressing in order to do that, and it puts us in tough situations.
When you say pressing to do different things, is that offensively? 17 assists that you had in the first half compared to the 3, is that the defense, or is that you just trying too hard in the offense still?
I think it's still, obviously in that aspect, it's the offense, right? They make a run instead of being in a position of trust where we just do the same thing over and over again. We try to do it all ourselves. And, that's not who we are. That's not the makeup of this team. This team at its best is a unit. It's 5 guys on the floor. It's 10 guys on the sideline, pulling for one another, sharing with one another, competing with one another. That's when we're at our best. And, we have to get that trust in ourselves and in our group that, if a team makes a run, it's okay to do the same things that we've done. It's okay to trust in our teammates, and trust in ourselves and our system to make sure that we get the job done.
Kelsey. Coach Rustia, The Athletic. JB, going off of that, you guys only made 3 threes tonight on 10 attempts. Was it something that the Timberwolves were doing defensively on the perimeter that just wasn't making those shots available to you guys, or what did you notice as the struggle on that end?
I thought, generating threes, starts on our attacks. We scored 70 plus points, I think it was, in the paint. That team, turns teams over by getting steals. They block shots. So it was just what we talked about before the game. When we get in the paint and we see the defense coming, we need to make the pass out to the perimeter. And that's where the threes will come from, and that's how we'll generate threes. When we see the extra defender coming into the play, we kick the ball out to 3 instead of finding ourselves in small spaces and turning the ball over. 19 turnovers is entirely too many. I think that's the tough part, is the decision making in those moments, an opportunity to create for others.
It was actually my next question. So going into that on the turnovers, was it some of it as well? We've talked about ball movement and finding that extra pass, but some of that decision making of maybe not having necessarily the most open person available to make that pass. We'll go back and we'll watch it. But my message is the simple play over and over and over again. It doesn't have to be complex. We don't need to overthink it. The simple thing is to pass the ball to the open man. And if you pass the ball to the open man, you'll generate good looks, you'll force rotations, and you'll give other people an opportunity to play. Fedor?
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. JB, do you feel like you guys as a team need to generate more threes to be successful?
Yes. And again, I believe the opportunities are there. We do a great job of attacking the paint. Don't get me wrong. I think that's a strength of ours. But when teams make adjustments and they start taking the paint away, the spray has to be out to the 3-point line. And, we got to create open looks, for our guys who are capable of shooters. We have some guys who are better than others at breaking their man down. And their responsibility to, when they break their man down, is to make the play for their teammates who are better catch and shoot guys. So we've got to be working in unison on the offensive end of the floor to help one another.
Seemed like you took a little extra in the post-game locker room. what message were you trying to get across to the guys after this one?
Again, being who we are is the most important thing to us as a coaching staff. Game by game, being a different team doesn't lead to success. Game by game, consistency in our approach, game by game, consistency in our identity is what makes good basketball teams. And, taking the individual out of the game. Respect in this league is earned by team success. And that's the only thing that matters at the end of the day. We can have, big numbers here, we can have high numbers there. But at the end of the day, what we all are aiming for is respect from our peers. And that respect comes from team successes. And that's what we need to focus on. Whatever we have to do as individuals to make the team most successful is the only thing that matters. All that other stuff doesn't matter. It should be take turns. One guy has a big night, the defense makes a decision to take him away, the next guy has a big night. That's the most important thing. And that's the message that, us as a coaching staff, we have to make sure that we continue to pound is the team success is the only thing that matters. And that's got to be our focus every single night.
JB, is there any sense recently that message is not resonating?
There's been instances, these last two games in my mind, that we have not played, to the standard of being the most competitive team and the most selfless team on the floor. I think that was the case for, a lot of tonight. I thought we got to a place where, we built a lead and we got away from being who we are. Again, I'll at the end of the day, being a new group and finding ourselves, like we can hang our hat on those two things. I know it. And it's our responsibility to get our group there, most nights. And so I have to be better at that. And we have to be better at it as a group.
Angel, you good? Your question get answered?
Just piggyback off that one, Coach. You said you wanted to be the most competitive and the most selfless team. And that's been your mantra. So in a sense, we've seen that this team can do it. We've seen what it looks like when everyone is moving the ball and when the assists are up and then defense is, firing on all cylinders. Was it injuries or where was the disconnect? What do you believe has put you guys in this position where you're questioning if that still is the focus of the players?
There's no question, Angel, just to be clear. I genuinely believe that our guys have bought into what we're trying to do. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of the act. And we have to take action every night to do that. A lot of times there's 72 games. You get caught up in the words and not the acts. So we got to make sure we get, we stay in the act of doing the things that we say and meaning the words that we say. And it's not easy. That's why there's a handful of really good teams in this league that compete for a championship, because they can do it 72 or 82 times. It's not easy. And it takes time to get there. None of those teams got there overnight. So it's going to take us some time. We have to be patient and understand that, but it's still our job as coaches, to hold the hammer down to those two things and hold people accountable to those things. And